Ladies and gentlemen, a St. Louis, Carl Becker, will go down in the annals of presidential history. St. Louis and Carl Becker asked the one question that got cheers from the entire nation. Listen to this.
My question to both of you is, regardless of the current rhetoric, would either of you name one positive thing that you respect in one another?
I respect his children. His children are incredibly able and devoted, and I think that says a lot about Donald. I don't agree with nearly anything else he says or does, but I do respect that.
I will say this about Hillary. She doesn't quit. She doesn't give up. I respect that. I tell it like it is. She's a fighter. I disagree with much of what she's fighting for. I do disagree with her judgment in many cases, but she does fight hard, and she doesn't quit, and she doesn't give up, and I consider that to be a very good trait.
Carl Becker asked the question of the night. Carl Becker joins us now. Good morning, Carl Becker. Carl, you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning, McGraw. How are you?
Good, Carl. Thanks for checking in. First, let's get to how were you one of the lucky 40 that were picked to sit on the stage and ask the question?
Through the Gallup organization, they reached out to me, and subsequently...
Was it a random phone call? Was it a random phone call or a knock on your door, or how'd that happen?
A phone call. Gallup has approached me on different anonymous type polls before, and apparently I'm a guy who answers my phone.
All right, fair enough. So how much vetting was by the time they said, would you like to be a part of this, to the time you sat down last night?
Less than 2 weeks.
Okay.
They were pretty efficient, Secret Service, background checks, etc.
Right. And then how did it work? Did you have that question written out before you got on stage?
I wrote that question out. I had two questions. That one I wrote out Saturday night.
And then they asked you to sort of hand in your question, and that was the question you handed in.
I handed in both my questions. They vetted through, the moderators vetted through the questions, and I was approached about 6 p.m. last night by one of the producers, and I was told to be prepared to ask that question.
Gotcha. So all you were told was at some point your question might be brought up.
It became pretty obvious when they were making me rehearse that it was definitely going to be asked, but at what time during the debate, I did not know.
Gotcha. Just on a side note, pretty extraordinary that you got to ask the question. What has been the reaction since you made national news last night? Well,
my 18-year-old daughter, Darcy, has now become my media coordinator. She is filling me in on all the memes and all the articles that are being written. So it's been pretty awesome. However, my question, I wanted the candidates to at least step back and think about one another and what they could convey in a positive light, not only to me, my kids, but the folks that were watching.
Right. Do you think they answered your question in the manner in which it was asked appropriately?
I believe they did their best. I don't think they could have taken my question and skewed it to one of their many talking points. And that's really what I wanted to get out of them, that I wanted to get them off track. I wanted to get away from the current mudslinging.
Any anger directed at you through social media since last night?
Not to me. Somebody took a hit at my daughter this morning, which I didn't appreciate, but it's the good with the bad, and we live in a country in which you have that freedom of speech.
Right. Why would that? Well, what a vile person to go after your daughter. What? So I won't even go there. Afterwards, you were the last question. Did you interact with both candidates afterwards?
Yes. I spoke to Mr. Trump and Secretary Clinton and had a great conversation with her daughter regarding the look on her face when she came from her seat. What she said to me, what we talked about, I will not even discuss. It was very private and very open.
The conversation you had with Chelsea.
Correct.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to at least get a selfie with the two of them?
Well, we were not allowed phones. So my phones had to stay in my vehicle that was locked in a garage that was guarded by the Secret Service.
Right.
So the committee was able to procure those disposable cameras from the 1990s and had given that to us, each one, and I was able to have some pictures taken with those disposable cameras. But at this point in time, I have no idea where you'd get those developed.
Yeah, that's a good point. Carl Becker with us from St. Louis. He was the one who asked the last question that is getting all the attention about say something nice about the other one. Carl, what was the overall theme of the other 40 people you were with? Did you guys build up any rapport? What did you guys talk about afterwards? What were some of your insights?
We were sequestered from 8:30 in the morning until we went out on that stage. We had one rehearsal, about 1 in the afternoon. But it was fun being with that group of people, all different backgrounds, all ethnicities, and we were able to kind of share our views and thoughts on the experience of the day.
Did you come away with a clearer picture of who you might want to vote for come November 8th?
McGraw-Milhaven. I'm telling you, that's at this point, I don't know who I'd vote for. Anybody that I talk to right now, it's like I'm going to vote for them. There's nothing that really came out of last night's debate that would sway me one way or the other at this point.
Fair enough.
I'm looking at probably the third debate, and hopefully they will take my question and become more positive for the UNLV debate.
Did you at least get some type of parting gift? Did they give you at least a Washington University koozie or something?
No, I got a presidential debate pin.
All right, that'll work.
Pens.
All right, fair enough. There you go. You also have, Carl, the memory of a lifetime. Thank you for your service to the country, Carl. You did St. Louis proud.
Thank you, McGraw. You have a wonderful day.
You got it. Carl Becker with us. He was the St. Louisan last night at the debate who asked the question, probably the best question of the night, which was after such a toxic and terse debate, say something nice about the other one. 9:18 here, Big 550, KTRS. Wait till you hear the controversy.